There is something called the MVP, minimal viable product. So that then it's kind of the minimal characteristics of what they need, so that then we start receiving feedback and then we can continue working on. Hey guys, let's put ourselves in our customer shoes. We can understand how difficult actually is to go through all these thousands of standards. How we can do it, how we can make it easier for them. So then they started doing like some training. It was very nice training, very interactive, very easy to understand. That was amazing, having that design thinking approach. Because if you don't use this design thinking approach, then you just generate the standards in just, let's say, Confluence page or like Word or whatever, Google. It's not good to kind of force things when it doesn't make sense. So sometimes, and this is something where design thinking is very good as well, because it's putting ourselves in the shoes of our customers. It doesn't matter who they are, and then providing the best for them. Yeah.
Right. And design thinking, is design thinking a part of Agile approach as well? So
it's different. It's because to live those Agile values and those practices, there are a lot of methodologies, frameworks, tools, like so many. So then you choose whatever it can help you to live those values and those principles. So for example, design thinking, because it's a human-centered approach, so then it's putting the human first. Then it's very similar to what Agile values and principles are saying. Put yourself in the customer's shoes and really give them the best. So because if they have their same vision, their same mission, then we can use it to live Agile values and principles. Yeah.
Right. And in this, as you mentioned, like in the Agile approach, there are various methodologies that we can approach towards a problem. So how do someone define like which methodology they want to use? Like, is there any tick box kind of a thing? Okay, if these things are satisfied, we'll go with this approach.
I will say that start with the simple one, because otherwise, simplest one. Otherwise, you cannot go from 1 to 100. You know. Then it kind of, let's go step by step. So then let's select what is the simple one. So there is one that is called Kanban. So then where they help you understand where you are and where you want to be, start measuring the flow of work. So then you can start by that one. There are other things that they start with Scrum framework. So then they have kind of different ways how they work. So then it's important that you understand how all of these methodologies work. What do you need to do to use these tools and these practices and these methodologies, so that then you can choose what is the best for your team. So in Scrum is good because then you can plan for the teams that can plan their work. Then they can plan for the next 2 weeks and they can focus on doing something. But there are some other teams that they are more BAU. So they receive things every day. Then Scrum is not very good for them. So to answer your question is, get familiar with the frameworks or the tools that you want to use, and then see how it fits your purpose, what you want to try to achieve within the company, with your team, with the area, and then see how you can actually even implement it, and maybe you can change some things. I am very pragmatic, so I don't like by the book here it says that it has to be done in this way. No, we need to be flexible. And I think that's very important. And when we are not flexible, that's when teams suffer. Because then we push things to them that it doesn't make sense. And I have seen a lot this because I was a consultant. And then it's not good to kind of force things when it doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Right. And reflecting back on the feedback point, like as you said, at each stage we will have a feedback loop so that we can get feedback and improvise things. So what if there is any certain stage where feedback really doesn't exist? Like what I mean is like how should they approach towards getting a feedback. So, for example, let's say it's a development stage, but and we are developing a certain software for the end client, but the end client would only be interested in how the usability of the software and does it meet their need. They are not really interested into what went into the coding and the development phase. So, but in that phase, you still have to use the feedback approach, get the feedback. So, how should they approach?
So I think it's about educating our business and educating our clients or stakeholders, because it's not about the code and not explaining them the code or anything like that. It's about, hey, use this. You asked me for a piece of paper. Look, try. I created this for you. Try, and then we see how, if you like it, if maybe you see something that it doesn't make sense, we can see in the whole process if this makes sense or not.
Right.
I think it will be, any customer will be very interested to be involved in the creation of something. If maybe any of the internal stakeholders are not interested, then it's about educating them. Look, the benefits are that then I am showing you, you can give me your feedback, then we can see what is the best, and we can agree on something and we can continue working on your product. But we don't want to wait until 10 months to show you something, so then you are like, oh, you know, like this actually doesn't make sense for me. So we are not wasting your time and our time and money and time and everything.
Okay, right. Yes, so and moving on towards the design thinking part, I have heard like you're a big advocate for design thinking. Can you give us an introduction what design thinking really is?
So as I was saying, kind of, I think maybe like in one sentence, it's a human-centered approach. So, and it has 5 different phases. So the first phase is to empathize with your customer. So interview your customer, and it has, in each of the stages, it has different steps and tools to actually achieve these stages. And so then interview and talk to your customer, so then you understand, you empathize with them. And then the second stage is to actually define the problem, because maybe they can have many problems. You need to select, okay, what is the cost benefit, because as a company, what is actually that is going to be good that the customers are going to be using, and then deciding what is going to be the best. And then define the actual problem. And then in the third one is ideate. Okay, now let's all get the team together and then let's generate as many ideas, even if they are like super crazy, doesn't matter. But what we want is to ideate different ideas of how we can solve this problem, how we can create this product. Then the next one is to prototype. So then is to create like, okay, let's do even in paper or in a program, like a very easy, how maybe we see this product working. Then is to actually test. Okay, now let's start testing a small feature, so that then we can kind of work with the customers and then receive the feedback. And there is something called the MVP, minimal viable product. So that then it's kind of the minimal characteristics of what they need, so that then we start receiving feedback and then we can continue working on. So you can apply this as well in any team, and I have done it with teams that they were not developers, but you can use the same concepts. For example, in a team that is about, let's say, that they create a lot of standards. For example, in big companies, very regulated companies like banking or insurance, then internal teams, they have to create things that standards for project managers, so then they can follow those standards. And they can be very complex to follow all that, because it's about security, privacy, data governance, is so much. So then with them, I was saying, hey guys, let's put our shoes, let's put ourselves in our customer shoes, because then we can understand how difficult actually is to go through all these thousands of standards. How we can do it, how we can make it easier for them. So then they started doing like some training. It was very nice training, very interactive, very easy to understand. That was amazing, having that design thinking approach. Because if you don't use this design thinking approach, then you just generate the standards in just, let's say, Confluence page or like Word or whatever, Google.
Yeah.
And then Google Docs, and then it's like a big piece that they have to read. Oh my God! Like if you don't put yourself in their shoes, like imagine having to read all that. Like it's so boring. It's so difficult to understand. But when you do it very interactive and you teach it in a different way, it's totally different experience. So that's why I love it so much, because it's human centered, and you can use it in anything that you do.
Yep. Can you give us an example, like where you have applied the design thinking approach?
Yeah, like for example, with this team, they were generating these standards, and then we actually, at the beginning, it was, as I was saying, like I was a little bit of a lot of words there in a document, and it was really difficult. It took some time for them to kind of understand, okay, yeah, we need to do this training, and then you know that you have to educate the business stakeholders to understand that then now we need to invest more money to actually do this training, because it's very interactive, so usually you need to hire someone that actually do all those trainings. So it can take time and it can take effort to actually do all that, but it's worth it, because then everyone was involved in actually going through this training, and then we were doing regular trainings as well as part of this. So then project managers were feeling more confident in following the standards. So then when they were delivering the work, they were not lost anymore. Now they were more clear on what needs to be done, and just straight to actually deliver the work, because we need to streamline those processes, so then delivery teams, they can focus in delivering, not in trying to figure out how to follow all these standards. And as I said, like in regulated companies as banks or insurance, it can become very difficult to follow that.
Right. So as I understand it, like the design thinking approach goes through 5 stages. Like first is the empathizing with the customer, the clients, and second is the understanding the problem. The third is ideation or brainstorming ideas, solving. The fourth is prototyping, the tool, and the fifth is implementation. Yeah,
testing and implementing and getting the feedback. Yes.
And where do you think is the most important part of it? I like all the 5 points are very important in the design thinking approach, but which is the one part which is generally skipped or overlooked by many of the management teams?
It's funny, because actually usually it's the first one, to empathize with the client. Sometimes it's just work on this, we got the budget for this, just do it. It's not really actually thinking about the customer, and that happens a lot. So once you, like if you don't do that, then everything else that you do is not gonna be maybe very, because if you do something that is very complex to use, a system or a product or a service, then no one wants to use it. So then at the end you wasted the money, because at the end no one wants to use it, or people don't want to buy your product or your service.
Exactly. Hi Johanna, moving on to the last part of the podcast, we have a Q&A session, and we have Thao My joining us today. So she's a student from Macquarie University. Thao My, can you give us an introduction of you?
Hi everyone, my name is Thao My, and I'm from Vietnam, and I moved to Sydney for about over 2 years to start my major in business. Yeah, so I just started my Master of Business Analytics last year, and this day it will be my second semester of the master class. Yeah, so I want to ask you some questions about this one, because my background major is from international business, and I just moved to business analytics last year, and I feel it's really unfamiliar for me for about the technical things, about the have to know about the coding through Python and Tableau. So I would like to ask you, is there any suggestion or any kind of experience you want to share for us so that we can overcome these challenges?
Yeah, so I will say first, maybe investigate a little bit more which languages do you want to learn? For example, R, Python, SQL, depending on what you want to do. I think, for example, for analysis, it's very important to know SQL. And then maybe you can check in the industry as well, ask and interview people. You know, in LinkedIn, actually, you can ask people and they are very nice to answer. And then you can see what skills are more out there, because company maybe are hiring more in R or maybe in Python, let's say, or Tableau, or like there is so many tools and so many languages that then it's important to understand first what is required in the industry. So then you are not studying something that then when you are finish your university and then you are going to find a job, then you have been studying something that maybe there is not too much demand. Mm-hmm. So that's important to kind of understand. Then once you understand what is in demand, you can take courses. There are, for example, Udemy, Datacamp, Coursera, that they are very technical, and then you can go and do courses there. Maybe the university can offer different seminars or as well, or courses, small courses. Yeah.
Thank you for your answer. And I have one more question. This is about our same situation about this, because in my group of friends or in the lessons, we are all come from the international business background, and we would like to ask that because we are come from different major, they're different different landscape in business analytics. We rely about logical things and technical things. So is there any still a place for us how to fit with the industry, which rely most of the logical things rather than the experiences are about a human-centered?
So what is the question?
So my question is just about because business analytics, it relies about logical things and data stuff, but for us it's about we only have like experience about the human things, about the case study stuff. We just have the experience about that. So how do you think that we can fit with the industry about that?
Okay. So there are actually, I mean personally, I moved to many different roles, even within IT, but I move into the different roles where it requires different skills. However, there are transferable skills. So then the ones that you have from different backgrounds, as you are saying, you or your the other students, your classmates, then you can use those skills. Because, for example, when you are doing analysis, and when we were talking about design thinking, you can bring those perspectives to kind of be more human-centered, and it's very important. Actually, when you focus on only the technical, it's not good, because it's important to bring that human-center to your work, so then you can understand how valuable the work that I'm doing, even if it's technical, how it's going to impact the customers or the company, or the area.
I think I can get more about your answers. It's really helped me a lot for my future career.
And adding on to that, it's just like if you're not from a background who has been into analytics for a really long time, but you're from a background who is more people-centric. So you could, as Johanna said, you could just bring your perspective into the empathizing part, where you could truly talk with the customer or the clients and get their insights about what exactly they want. And since in the ideation stage where you're brainstorming ideas, I think over there, having different perspective, like a technical, a developing, or a human-centric approach is very much needed, so that you could have the insights from various different perspective, put it on the table, and from there you could pick which one really works for you.
Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate you guys.
No problem.
So that's all about it?
That's all about it.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
And please, feel free to contact any person on LinkedIn and ask. Please feel free to contact me. I'm super happy as well to answer any questions.
Yes. Awesome. Thanks, Thao My, and thanks, Johanna, for being on the podcast and joining us and making the Sunday morning so insightful.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the invite.
Hey everyone, thanks for making it to the end of the podcast. If you find the conversation about agile approach and design thinking interesting, please like, share, and subscribe so that we could bring more such content to you, and share it with someone who find it interesting. And if you want to be on the podcast and ask questions to our guest speaker, please click the link in the description and register your interest with us. And if we like your profile, we might call you on the podcast. Thank you.